Okay, so we're looking at our second of our preliminary videos before we start equations, and I'm calling this reverse operations. Excuse me. So when we want to isolate the pronumeral, when we call isolate, I mean get x by itself. Okay. When we want to isolate the pronumeral, we need to reverse the steps that built it up. So in the previous video, we're looking at building up an expression. Okay. So for instance, with the 2x plus 3. Okay, with the 2x plus 3 to build it up, I started with x, I doubled it to produce 2x, and then I added 3, and I get 2x plus 3. So to deconstruct it, then I have to go the opposite way. Okay, so if I built it up, if I was building it up this way, then I'm going to deconstruct it the opposite way. Okay, so obviously to deconstruct plus 3, I subtract 3. So 2x plus 3, if I subtract 3, becomes 2x. And if I times by 2, then I have to divide by 2 to go backwards to x. So when you were building it up, you were plussing numbers, but to deconstruct, you subtract. So if I was building up with a minus, I'm going to deconstruct with a plus. I've built it up with a times, I'm going to deconstruct with a divide. And if I built it up with a divide, I will deconstruct with a times. So we're doing the deconstruction by doing the opposite operation. Okay, so we'll go through a few more examples. Copy that down when you're ready to come across. So, I've got the expression x over 4 plus 1. Okay, so to get rid of plus 1, I subtract 1. And so that means that the plus 1 and minus 1 have disappeared, so I'm back to x divided by 4. And then if I constructed it with the division, then I have to do the opposite with a times, and I get x. Okay, so with the next one, okay, to build it up, that number was the last thing I put in, so I have to divide to get rid of it. So then I'm back to what's in the bracket, x plus 1, and then to get rid of the plus 1, I minus 1, so I'm back to x. So I've isolated x. And once I've isolated x, then I'll have the solution to an equation, which is the next video. Okay, in example 4, okay, the last thing I did was I divided by 5, so I have to times it by 5 to get the x minus 3, and then to get rid of minus 3, I plus 3, and then I've isolated x. So copy that down, and we'll have a look at another example. So actually these are ones I want you to do yourself. So I've got an expression x plus 1, 3x plus 4, 2x minus 5 over 3. I want you to deconstruct it. Write the operations down that deconstruct it. So at the end of the day, you're just going to have x by itself. Okay? That's the idea. You're going to deconstruct it or isolate, so x is the final answer. So have a go, pause, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, so with the first one, it's pretty simple. We've only got plus 1, so if I subtract 1, then I shall have x. Okay? In the next one, I will take away the 4 first, and that will give me 3x. And then I divide by 3, and that will give me my x. And the last one, I'll times by 3, and that will give me my 2x minus 5. I'll add 5, which will give me my 2x, and then I'll divide by 2, and that will give me my x. And I've deconstructed it. Once you understand how to deconstruct it, then you'll be able to solve equations quite easily. Okay, and there's a worksheet on Moodle called Reverse Operations Exercise 9D, and that's it. Thanks.